Over the past 5 months, Scotland have experienced their share of ups and downs. Positive results in November, offset by a disappointing Six Nations. One of their problems has been at half-back, where they've greatly missed the energy and direction of Cusiter.
I injured myself last May playing for Glasgow Warriors against the Netherlands Scarlets down there. It was the last game of the season, and just making a tackle, one of their second rows ran straight at me, knee-on-knee collision and fractured kneecap. So it's been 8 months ago now. Had an operation back in the summer and I've been rehabbing ever since. And yeah, it's been a long time. You know, it's every day in the gym. It can be quite a lonely place, doing the same exercises over and over and just trying to progress, trying to keep on top of the injury and not do too much too early, and just a real balancing act to try and get better. So I'm desperate to get back playing. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I'm on the home straight now.
It's been a long and at times painful journey back to fitness, and whilst the Six Nations appearance is unlikely, there's a bigger goal in Cusiter's sights.
I need to get myself back in the squad. I need to prove that I'm fit and playing well, and challenge the guys who are in there at the moment. So, you know, Mike Blair, Roy Lawson, and the three of us have always been around for the last number of years, and Greg Laidlaw coming through. So, yeah, I've got a lot to prove. I'm desperate to get back involved. You know, I miss playing for Scotland. I miss being involved with the boys. The World Cup is a huge goal of mine. The last time round, I was on the bench and I didn't play a great deal. And you know, the World Cup is such a big competition, and you know, the interest that it generates and the way that the country can get behind the team is just amazing. So I want to play a big part in that tournament. I want to be captain for that tournament. That's not my call to make, so it's a tough one.
With the Rugby World Cup now looming large, time isn't on Cusiter's side if he's to prove his worth to the Scottish selectors. Argentina and the old enemy England are in Scotland's pool, two teams Cusiter knows well.
The Argentina game is obviously key. They're one of the big teams in the group along with England, so we have to beat them. It's pretty much as simple as that. We beat them or we beat England. If we don't beat either of them, then we won't qualify. But that said, you know, Georgia, Romania are tough teams to beat. Very, very physical. Have made a lot of progress in the past few years. So it's the old cliche, but you have to take each game at a time. And the first game, I believe, is Georgia. Have to beat them. Moving on to Romania and then Argentina and England. So I think World Cups are about gathering momentum, getting yourself playing well at the right times, and getting yourself to that knockout stage. And you know, Scotland have never not qualified for the quarterfinals. So you know, anything less than that would be a failure. If you look at Argentina's performance in the last World Cup, they play with so much passion and you know, so much energy, and they just never ever give up. And that'll be such a tough game to win. You know, so what's happened last summer is unfortunately going to have no bearing. Good for Scotland to go there and win the first Test series in the Southern Hemisphere, but you know, going forward to the World Cup is a one-off game. It's going to be, you know, absolutely 100%. Two teams going at each other for the full 80 minutes, and any team can win. That's the thing. It's so hard to predict in these games because these games can turn on the bounce of a ball, things like that. So it's going to be a huge game. And I think, you know, Scotland are confident they can win the game. They know they can win the game, but we have to punch above our weight, of course. But we've done it in the past, and we will definitely keep doing it in the future.
And despite recent performances, the 28-year-old hopes that Scotland's future as a rugby nation is in safe hands under the guidance of an Englishman.
I think ever since Andy's been involved in Scottish rugby, and he's just constantly improving the standards and demanding improvement from everyone involved. So there's always going to be ups and downs in international rugby. If things go badly, the attitude is how can we improve, how can we learn from that and move forward. And that's a great place to be for a player. You know, it's not just criticism for criticism's sake. It's constructive. It's trying to improve players and trying to drive the standards and values of the Scotland team. And I think that's going to continue as long as Andy's involved.